My Bluetooth headset exploded while I was wearing it, resulting in my death. I was a 28-year-old student, comfortably ensconced at home, absorbed in music and deep in thought. I had my Bluetooth headset on, isolating myself from the world outside. Then, everything abruptly changed. My Bluetooth headset decided to put on a display of pyrotechnics. It blew up. Damn it. The explosion jarred my skull and catapulted me from my chair. When the paramedics arrived, I was lying unconscious on the floor, the headset still affixed to my ears. They tried everything to revive me, but their efforts were in vain. I died of cardiac arrest, and you're likely curious as to why. Here's the reason. My headset was connected to my smartphone, which was in the process of charging. It seems a power surge occurred due to a power outage, triggering the explosion. It was as if all the malevolent forces in the universe had gathered in that headset and decided to cause destruction. Now I'm here, recounting this story from beyond the grave, frustrated and incensed. Why was it me? Why did what seemed like an ordinary day result in my untimely death?
Like the first time I did it, I couldn't really believe I did it. They've tried to portray me like I was some kind of a creature, right? I was just like everybody else out there. Probably 99.9% of the time, I was normal as he is or anybody else is. But there's that 1% of the time or whatever that there's some kind of a problem there.
He was a monster. He is still a monster until the day he takes his last breath.
It was pretty easy to tell from the very minute I grabbed McVeigh that she wasn't like the others.
Bobby DeLon, thank you. Thank you for choosing me instead of another 17-year-old little girl.
And that's probably why she's still alive, walking and talking today.
I had made my mind up that night when I came home from work that I was going to end my life. I even sat down and wrote my suicide note out. I left around 2 a.m. when I got off my shift. I remember being happy. Just happy. I know when I go home, I'm going to end my life. I was happy. I'm going to be free.
While she bikes through the dark, empty streets, she notices a red car parked in front of a church.
I don't know why it seemed odd to me. And I just kind of shrugged it off. It's like, I'll be okay.
She ignores her instinct, but the driver of the car is hiding behind a parked van.
Next thing I was just yanked off my bicycle, horrifically, just so forceful. Knocked the breath out of me. I felt the barrel of a gun to my left temple. I remember him putting a blindfold on my face. I was ordered to take all my clothes off. He ties me up, ligatures on my wrists, ankles.
Throws me in the car, yells at me to keep my eyes shut, and that if I showed him a good time, he was not going to kill me.
My grandmother's boyfriend used to put a gun in my head every time he molested me for 3 years. It was nothing new to me.
Lisa does everything the man says, as she is threatened with a gun. Then the man starts the car and takes her away. Lisa sitting blindfolded in the passenger seat, her clothes bundled at her feet.
I had no clue where we were going. This is going to be it. This is going to be it. Rape and death. Next thing, to my surprise, my abductor makes me get dressed.
The man removes her bindings from her wrists and her ankles, but keeps her blindfolded. Lisa is taken out of the car and into an apartment building. Once inside, she's thrown onto a bed.
He raped me any way you can imagine. He raped me. Very painful. Very painful. Of flowers, a happy place. I would just disconnect from the rest of the world. I just become completely numb. Tired of living, just tired of being abused. I didn't see any other way out. I didn't want to live. I remember thinking of my family, my sister, my brothers. What are they going to do without me? And I kept thinking, I gotta get out of this some way, somehow. I have to get out of this. I had to reach down deep in my soul. I just had a new sense of wanting to survive. I would do whatever it took.
She asks to go to the bathroom. He refuses. She insists, claiming she would pee right there in the bed if he denies her to go. He allows her to go in, where she could be alone for a moment. her plan has worked.
I was putting my fingerprints everywhere. The vanity mirror, on the walls, to show the police I was fighting, trying to leave my marks to, hey, listen, I was here. I was one of his victims.
She knows that to survive, she would need to gain his trust, so she begins a dangerous mind game.
There was a moment we had a conversation. I had asked him, why was he doing this to me? He said due to a recent breakup, he was getting back at women in general. And I played on his heartstrings. I said, listen, I can be your girlfriend. We don't have to tell anybody how we met. You seem like a pretty nice guy. I had to show he had control and that I respected him, no matter what. One slip, and I would have been dead.
And that's when he said, no, I can't keep you. He told me to get some rest, get some sleep. It'll be over in a little while.
Around 3:30 a.m., the man takes Lisa out into the car. He drives her off blindfolded again. She starts to see her end is near.
As he's putting the blindfold on me, I was trying to tighten my jaw so it would be a little loose.
Everything that I saw, hear, touch, smell, taste, whatever, I would just store it in my memory bank. In case if I did get out of this alive, I can go to the police to get him caught.
I remember the car being loud like it needed a tune-up. I remember the lights passing on the interstate. I could see it beneath my blindfold. I'm trying to see my surroundings, I'm trying to see where I'm at. I knew we were in interstate because the air sound changes, it gets strong. I saw two hotels. These two hotels were at the intersection of Hillsborough Avenue. He proceeds west. Interstate 275. I remember seeing a silver piercing, shining light hitting my eyes. It was the word Magnum on the dashboard. He decides to pull into a rear parking lot. Tell me to get out of the car. That Gray's gonna kill me here. He told me when I got out, I wanted to stay there for 5 minutes. I was frozen. My mind's racing. Should I run? Should I walk? Is he watching me? Is he pointing the gun at me right now? Is he gonna run me over by his car?
But he didn't. The man left her there and drove off. After minutes that seemed like an eternity, Lisa finally decides to risk taking off her blindfold.
I took my blindfold off, and the first thing I saw was this beautiful oak tree. And I felt too much. I knew right there and then my life was going to change forever. To me, it was a sign of a new branch of life.
Now wanting to live my life.
But her struggle is not over yet. When she gets to the police station, she tells a detective everything that happened to her. But because Lisa has such composure, she doesn't look like other victims. And so the detective doesn't believe her. Lisa gets angrier and angrier. But she can't let her kidnapper get away and hurt someone else.
We were finding a body, it averaged out about every 2 weeks. You know if you don't solve it soon, someone else is going to die.
I was asked by my detective to go in and talk to her, and I did talk to her. I took my wallet out of my jacket and showed her the picture of my daughter. And I told her, this is my daughter, she's your age. There's nothing I won't do to protect her. And I'm going to protect you.
I started crying. When I was describing the details of how my doctor looked through my hands, small mustache, pockmarked face, small ears.
I'd never seen a victim of a violent crime like this that had such recall.
The breakthrough was the Rhodes girl's description of this car, the catalyst for a 24-hour surveillance of Long.
He gave me a photo lineup, 6 pictures. I said, that's your guy. Just take your time. You gotta take your time. I'm telling you, that's your guy. He's the one that abducted me.
We were confident we had the right suspect. It was imperative for us to move as quickly as possible.
All of a sudden they said, we've got him. And they ran out into the parking lot. They handcuffed him, put him in the car, read him his rights.
Late this evening, investigating officers from the task force have arrested and charged Robert J. Long, and we have charged him with 9 counts of first-degree murder.
Bobby Joe Long's arrest came with the help of a young girl, a teenager, who he kidnapped. Now, she got away, and then she helped lead detectives to the serial killer.
But how many more would he have killed had it not been for the one victim who escaped him?
November 4th, 1984, Bobby Joe Long released me. I promised myself I would never live as a victim. Bobby Joe Long, thank you. Thank you for choosing me instead of another 17-year-old little girl.
Lisa worked for years as a sheriff's deputy.
The one that got away is now the protector.
I know not on my watch will I let any child get hurt. And if they do, I'm going to be their voice and I'm going to be their advocate.
I aspirated myself a long time ago to make it my obligation to be the voices of the women's lives who took too soon. Today, as I stand before God, the victims, and the families of the victims, I vow to carry on and be their voice. In memory and honor of the victims, Artis Wick, Lana Long, Michelle Denise Sims, Chanel Williams, Elizabeth Loudenbach, Karen Disfriend, Vicki Elliott, Kimberly Hops, Virginia Johnson, and Kimberly Swan. I didn't want to take the abuse I went through and carry it on in my life. I deserved to treat myself better than that. I deserved it. Once I broke those chains and that bondage I was in, I was able to see that I can take something negative, all the negativity in my life, and turn it something positive and grow from that. And each and every day, still today, I grow. To me, it's a lifetime journey of healing. And it's just phenomenal. Love life to the fullest. I had a second chance. And I'm going to use it wisely.
Allie sent Brandon a picture of her stomach, seemingly trying to show him her baby bump. And he said, "Are you going to be home today? Because I could visit." And around 5:45 p.m., Allie responded with another picture of her stomach. And she said, "Like it isn't like I'm not that small anymore, and I can pretend I'm fat right now, but IDK, it's getting hard." And Brandon just replies with, "Just let me know when you are back from going out. Is your house private right now?"
Literally, screen record them kicking my fucking door down. Screen record them kicking my door in. Screen record them kicking my door in. Fucking crazy, man. And I'm still sitting here getting my hair done.
What's up, guys? Can you come
What's
on out
up?
here, please?
No.
For what? Come on out here.
For what? No.
We're gonna talk to you guys. Come here.
You can come over here. No.
No, I'm telling you to come out here.
Bro, you can talk right here. Don't.
Come on out here so we can figure out what's going on. We have an ambulance coming for her.
I don't need no fucking ambulance. Y'all can cancel this shit. I don't need nothing. I don't need no fucking ambulance. I don't need no cops. I don't need none of that shit. Like, y'all can fucking go ahead. Come on. Like, I'm sick and tired of y'all motherfuckers.
Because we're getting calls from all over the country. We have to make sure.
All over the country. This ain't fake. Your calls are wrong.
They became the real-life Scream Killers. Brian Draper and Tori Adamczyk met in high school, becoming fast friends over a shared love of cinema. In September of 2006, the pair decided to make their own movie. Creating a death list of targets and hoping to become the real-life Scream Killers, they had friend and fellow student Cassie Jo Stoddard at the top of their list. On September 21st, they recorded themselves plotting the murder.
We're going for a high death count.
We're not going not to get caught, Brian. If we're going for guns, we're just going to end it. We're just going to grab the guns and get out of there, kill everybody and leave.
We're going to make history. We're going to make history.
For all you FBI agents watching this, you weren't quick enough.
We were quick enough and you weren't smart enough. And we're going over today, Nixon's house. We're gonna go snoop around over there and try to see if she's home alone or not. And if she's home alone, splat! She did.
Don't put your humor into this, Brian.
I'm not putting any humor into it. Yep. People will die. And then memories will fade.
Memories will fade. I wonder what movie you got that from, Brian.
Myself. That was myself.
No wonder it was so lame.
We're gonna go to the church over there and we're gonna call a girl and a guy named Cassie and Matt. They're our friends, but we have to make sacrifices, so I feel tonight it is the night, and I feel really weird, inside my stomach and stuff, and I feel like I want to kill somebody. I know that's not normal, but what the hell?
I feel we need to break away from normal life.
How bright is this light?
We are also taught that things like killing people and the other thing is wrong. The only thing that it's wrong about is because it's breaking the law, and the law is only wrong. The law
Natural selection, dude.
Because
natural selection, that's all I gotta say.
There should be no law against killing people. I know it's a wrong thing, but hell, you restrict somebody from it, they're gonna want it more.
Exactly. We found our victim, and sad as it may be, she's our friend. But you know what? We all have to make sacrifices. Our first victim is going to be Cassie Stoddard and her friends.
Turn your brights off, asshole.
Well, yeah, we'll find out if she has friends over. She's going to be alone in a big, dark house out in the middle of nowhere. How perfect can you get? I mean, like, holy shit, dude.
I'm horny just thinking about it.
Hell yeah. So we're gonna fucking kill her and her friends, and we're gonna keep moving on. I heard some news about Kirsten. She's gonna be home alone from 6 to 7. So we might kill her, then drive over to Cassie's thing, and scare the shit out of them, then kill them one by fucking one. Hell yeah.
Why one by one? Why can't it be a slaughterhouse?
2 by 2 and 3 by 3.
Bad.
We're bad.
We're bad.
That sounds so shitty.
We're evil. That's not even shittier.
We're not, okay? They were sick psychopaths that get pleasure of killing other people.
That sounds good, baby.
We're gonna go down in history. We're gonna be just like Scream, except real life terms. We're gonna be murderers.
Good, baby.
Like, let's see, Ted Bundy. Like the Hillside Strangler.
No.
The Zodiac Killer.
Those people are more amateurs compared to what we're gonna be.
The boys knew that Cassie would be house-sitting her aunt and uncle's house the following night. On the evening of September 22nd, Cassie invited over her boyfriend Matt as well as Brian and Tori to watch some movies. Brian and Tori left after about an hour, telling them that they were going to go to a local theater. But they first unlocked a basement door. They went to their vehicle, changed their clothes, armed themselves with sharp knives, and donned white masks. They crept into the basement, cut the power, and tried to make noise and draw the couple down into the basement. As you can imagine, the couple was terrified, and Cassie desperately wanted Matt to spend the night, but his mother wouldn't allow it. At about 10:30 p.m., Matt left, leaving Cassie alone in the house. Shortly after, they rushed upstairs and stabbed Cassie 30 times, with 12 of them being fatal. The two 16-year-olds then fled back to their car, recording their reactions of the grisly murder.
Just killed Cassie. We just left her house. This is not a fucking joke.
I'm shaking.
I stabbed her in the throat, and I saw her lifeless body just disappear. Dude, I just killed Cassie. Oh, fuck. That felt like fucking real. I mean, it went by so fast.
Shut the fuck up. We gotta get our act straight.
It's okay. Okay, let's buy movie tickets now.
Okay.
Come on, we're gonna buy.
No.
Goodbye.
As they were some of the last to see her alive, they were also one of the first to be interviewed. They quickly broke down, tried to put the blame on one another, and said it was all supposed to be just a joke. Brian led authorities to Black Rock Canyon, to the spot where they discarded their masks, weapons, clothes, and videotapes. An attempt to burn the tapes proved unsuccessful, and they were used against them in court. The pair were tried as adults despite being under 18 years old. They both received life without the possibility of parole.
Today I had to call the police after what I found underneath this bridge in Georgia. This bridge has been here for over 300 years, and it's currently located in one of the most high crime neighborhoods in the entire state. Criminals throw a lot of evidence off the bridge above, so let's see what kind of stuff we can recover. I got my gear on and headed underwater to see what kind of cool stuff I could find. My first find was this electronic box. I'm not sure what it is, it looks like a guitar tuner. And then of course I found one of many wallets today. This wallet still contained credit and rewards cards from the owner over 20 years ago. Right by where I found that wallet, I found a pair of car keys, and these are fresh, these were just tossed in here. I also found somebody's walking crutch. How this got down here, I have no idea. I'm not sure why, but I find a lot of crutches doing what I do. And then the reason we got the cops involved, I found the pistol grip to a handgun. Unfortunately, the police said there's not much they can do as there's no serial number and this grip is likely 40 years old. I found about a dozen burner phones, but this is just one of the phones I found. The keypad to an old flip phone. I'm ashamed to say, but I am so young I did not know what this was at first. And then my last find of the day was somebody's fossil watch. Stay tuned for part 2 coming out tomorrow.
The woman you see in this footage has just committed the most horrifying crime that would leave the community and an entire country reeling with shock.
This is beyond shock. It's got me shaking just thinking about it, that something like this could happen.
But what led her to do something so evil? Let's look into the case of the 6-year-old that was murdered and dropped on a mom's yard. On Tuesday, April 25th, 2023, at around 9:45 p.m., a man by the name of Michael Fontenelle arrived at his home in Herrin, Louisiana, where he lived with his long-term girlfriend, 43-year-old Hannah Landon, and his 2 daughters. He had been working late that day and was exhausted, so he just went straight to bed. The next morning, he woke up around 7 a.m. and decided to go check on his daughters before going to work. His older 7-year-old daughter was sleeping peacefully in her bed, but her younger sister Bella was not there. Where could she have gone so early in the morning? Did she even sleep at home that night? The girl's bed was still made, meaning that she hadn't slept there. Maybe she even hadn't come home at all from school the previous day. The first thought that crossed Michael's mind was that his ex-wife and the mother of his daughters, Jennifer Zeledin, had taken Bella. Jennifer lived a couple of blocks away from them, and the two had custody wrangles over the years that had even involved the police. So it was not surprising that she would want to keep his daughter away from him. But before jumping into any conclusion, Michael wanted to check with his live-in girlfriend Hannah to see if his daughter came home the previous day. Michael and Hannah had been together for quite some time, and although they were not married, she was like his daughter's stepmother and seemed to really care about them. This picture shows Hannah holding Bella, and they both seem very happy. This one shows Hannah and Bella dressed like princesses, and they appear to have a really good relationship. This morning, however, Michael realized that he had also not seen Hannah, and she didn't come home last night. So where was she? Was she with Bella? Worried that something bad might have happened to both his girlfriend and his little girl, Michael went to Herrin Police Department and reported them missing. But nothing could have prepared him for the horror that was about to unfold. The police arrived at Michael's home at around 7:45 a.m., and after interviewing Michael and the remaining daughter, they went over to Bella's mother's home to see if she knew anything about her missing daughter and stepmom. Jennifer and Hannah didn't really like each other and had made it clear over the years that they would never get along. So when the police went to Jennifer's house, they suspected she might know something about the whereabouts of her daughter and Hannah. They arrived at the house at around 8:20 a.m., and the first thing they noticed was a large plastic bucket conspicuously sitting on the front lawn of the house. The bucket was suspicious enough to make the police want to know what was in it, and as they carefully approached it and opened the lid, they gasped in horror at what they saw.
It's a chlorine bucket, large, a little larger than a 5-gallon bucket on the front lawn of the mother's house. When they opened up that bucket, they found the 6-year-old deceased inside that bucket.
Bella's little body was stuffed inside the 10-gallon bucket, curled up in a fetal position. Immediately, the entire area was sealed off as a crime scene, and the missing persons case turned into a homicide investigation.
We're a small town. We're a safe town, and I just want the citizens to know that my heart and my prayers go out to the family of this child.
A sickening crime. 6-year-old Bella Fontenelle killed and in a 10-gallon chlorine bucket.
This is a senseless type incident that happened.
An autopsy later revealed that Bella had been beaten and choked to death.
Our preliminary cause of death, as determined by the forensic pathologist, is manual strangulation along with multiple blood force into the head. Child deaths are always terrible, especially ones like this that should not have happened.
The grim discovery shook the entire community and left the family completely devastated. What kind of evil monster would do such a horrible thing to an innocent little girl? And why dump her outside her mom's house? Clearly, only a sick person would be capable of doing something so cruel and so twisted.
We ended up doing extensive interviews with both the mother and the father, the biological mother and the father. We do not believe that they are involved in any foul play.
We never had anything like this happen before.
That's for sure.
Bella's family described the murder as a senseless and heinous act, saying that it had destroyed their lives. Her aunt, Bianca Cano, set up a GoFundMe page where she shared a heartbreaking message describing her young niece as an amazing little soul who was taken away too soon. No words can describe the pain that is running through our bodies. It is truly inhumane. The world is so unjust. You were given to us for 6 amazing years. You were beyond perfection. Your beautiful little voice, your funny personality, the way you danced, the way you were so delicate and fragile, your smile, your laugh, the way you expressed yourself. I can go on and on and on about how amazing this little soul was. No person should ever have to go through what we are going through, much less a mother and father having to lay to rest a child. Neighbors described Bella as a sweet and friendly little girl who was often seen riding her bike around the neighborhood or playing with her older sister.
I would see the little girl and her older sister out in the driveway playing many times, riding their little bikes, and
her arms were cut off. Her legs were cut off. Her ears were cut off. Her tongue was cut off.